Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm going to be testing a GeForce RTX 3060 12GB model in Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Beta. This one is the AFOX model of the card. We are running it with the latest Nvidia drivers and I'm not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech Power-Ups GPU-Z as usual, and resizable bar is also enabled. Again, it's the 12GB variant of the card, the 8GB will be way slower. And over on the left, I'm pairing it with a Ryzen 9 7950X3D CPU with half of its cores disabled, so it's basically the same as a Ryzen 7 7800X3D. It's still very overkill for a 3060, but you should get around the same FPS if you pair it with a way slower CPU. All you need is not to bottleneck it to achieve the same FPS. Finally, on the memory tab, I'm using 32GB of DDR5 6000MHz RAM in dual channel, and let's get right into it. Shall we? Let's go over the settings first. I am starting at 1080p resolution, utilizing the Ultra Graphics preset with Nvidia NIS enabled, set to native. This is just sharpening the image, and I feel like it gives a little bit less noise than Fidelity FX sharpening, or CAS. And the fact that we're using NIS instead of DLAA means that we can actually enable variable rate shading, which improves our FPS by around 10. So everything else is set to the Ultra preset, aside from the texture quality, which was set to normal by default, and I set it to high. We got 12 gigs after all. That's enough, and let's get to it. Alright, here we go, guys. Let's start counting our FPS. Smoke effects right away and explosions dropping into the 60s, so kind of the same as we've seen with the RTX 4060, but that was in another map and it was with DLAA. If we didn't utilize DLAA in that video, we would be getting higher FPS than these, and well, it makes sense because the 4060s are a little bit faster than the RTX 3060 is, even though this has more VRAM. And it's usually, or it could be argued that it could be a better deal sometimes, okay? Either way, as I told you, NIS is definitely the way to go, my gosh, in this particular title. It looks very sharp and detailed, it doesn't have a lot of noise, especially in shadow areas and stuff like that, like Fidelity FX CAS does, and compared to DLAA, it also provides a lot more performance, and it's slightly less blurry for some reason as well. Oh boy! oh. Lots of them! Lots of them! I'm just gonna throw a grenade! Die! Okay. I panicked a little bit there, guys. Also, sometimes it does drop into the 50s, but it's only when you die, basically. So it's not gonna affect your own performance in the game, you know, your aiming and stuff like that. It's always going to be consistent. And remember, this is in the more intensive map, most intensive map in the beta. Whenever they go prone, I'm never ready for that for some reason. Alright, the game is already more than halfway through, so I think we're just gonna stop it right there. It's a playable experience here at native resolution, but let's try to utilize some DLSS as well. On quality, 69% sharpness right there. Everything else still the same. Looks a little bit over sharpened, but I gotta keep the 69 sharpness, alright? It's the best value for sharpness after all. It's the best value for everything. I wish DLSS quality was 69% instead of 67%. It would have been so much better, right? Oh boy, reload. Oh, hello. Alright, got him. Oh, if I had gotten another kill, it could have been the play of the game, guys, right there. Anyway, with DLSS, it doesn't give us that huge jump in performance like we saw in the 4060 video, because again, we were utilizing the LAA there, and when you enable the DLSS, it delivered a lot of FPS compared to the LAA, but compared to the NIS on native, it doesn't. So there you go. You get like 10 more frames per second, I guess, whenever you utilize... they're everywhere. DLSS quality here, and I don't think it's worth it to enable DLSS right now. It's just slightly softer. Yes, it can be slightly more consistent as well. You don't drop from 60 FPS whenever you die, but it doesn't affect anything when you die anyways, so I don't really care. I think I would just stick to native resolution. It looked better, crisper. I like that, of course. Alright, we're in the previous most intensive map of the beta, and if you want to compare it to the RTX 4060, now you can do so, because we also tested that GPU here. I'm just gonna run around for a little bit. I don't want to camp inside of the spots, so you can see the FPS in the rest of the map as well. Seems to be very close actually in performance right now, although the 4060 was a little bit faster. Again, it's like 15% faster, so 4060 was probably getting what, like 110, 115 frames per second, while this is getting 100. Yeah, it's not night and day difference really, and it's kind of great that you can utilize high textures with the 3060. You know, because you got the 12 gigabytes of VRAM. Maybe I should go with the other weapon that I was using. This one kind of sucks. It's not taking a lot of HP off of them. Throw grenade. That was the worst grenade ever. Alright, I'm scared right now. There's a guy! God damn it, man. But yeah, as I was saying, even at 1080p resolution, the VRAM matters quite a bit, as you can see. If you want to... What happened? Ah, there we go. It just crashed, guys. Yeah. Alright, guys, we're now at 2560 by 1440 resolution, still utilizing the Ultra settings preset with high textures. The VRAM is still enough, even at 1440p. And we're back to NIS native here, which is looking great. But it's getting us 40 FPS. It starts feeling pretty bad here when you drop from 60, so I really don't recommend it, guys. It's now in the 30s sometimes. I don't like it. It does look really, really good here with NIS at 1440p. Very sharp, crispy, detailed, just how I like it. But if you want native 1440p on Ultra settings, you'll need the GPU upgrade, unfortunately. The 12 gigabytes are nice to have, of course, especially for higher resolutions and stuff, but the 3060 isn't really a high-resolution card these days, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and enable some DLSS now. See how it plays with that quality here. Alright, that's a little bit better, although, yeah, I'm already feeling the FPS dropping into the 50s. Remember, this is also the most intensive map. There are other maps that will get you way higher performance than this. Like, one of the maps I know gets at least like 30 more FPS than this, so you can get 60 plus in some maps using these settings. But in this one, in worst case scenario, basically, it's not going to be possible. And when the game comes out, we might actually see more maps like this that have a little bit of water. I think the water is what kills the FPS the most, actually. So the fact that there's water everywhere around this map, even little puddles, are just killing the frames, basically. Oh boy, shoot them bastards, still dropping into the 40s there. Yeah, that's a bit worrisome, guys. I think maybe on performance DLSS we might be capable of achieving good performance, but that's pretty much the same as quality DLSS at 1080p. It will render a 720p image and upscale it to 1440 on performance. So let's do that, I guess. There's not much else we can do here, of course, aside from utilizing like FSR3 with frame generation, which is not a good idea. The input lag will be extremely high whenever you utilize frame generation, and it will feel worse than native 50 FPS. At least it does to me. Of course, it looks smoother, and especially on YouTube videos, it looks great. But yeah, in terms of input lag, FG ain't the way, my friends, especially in a first-person shooter game like this. God damn it! Alright, there we go. What the hell? Wait! What the heck? I got confused there. That doesn't count. Come on, I shouldn't have died. I just wanted to hit him and kill him. Not make him a hostage. Oh my god, what is going on? Alright, at least we're getting 60 plus with performance DLSS all of the time. Not even when I die it drops. This is great. And you know what? It doesn't look too bad. Obviously, I can tell that it's not running at native resolution right now, especially in those power lines, for example. There's a lot of aliasing and a little bit of ghosting as well at the distance. But it's not bad. You can still spot people absolutely fine like this. The overall Ultra settings look is still there with good quality shadows and lighting and so on. The textures are also good, of course. So yeah, it's kind of a decent surprise, to be honest, because I thought it was going to look like crap like this, but no, it's fine. At least to my eyes, it looks fine, and I'm using a 42-inch monitor for this as well, which makes me able to see all of the differences in quality and the shimmers and ghosting effects, motion blurs coming from DLSS. Basically, little artifacts are very noticeable here because I have a huge screen to look at. But I can't really tell much, guys. Like, it looks good to me. Something that I did not expect to say in this video. I actually expected to move on to like low settings in just a little bit, but no, I'm here playing the game with performance DLSS just fine. It looks and plays great. No drops from 60, no high refresh rate either, but for that we'll have low settings coming later in this video. Gosh! Come on! We've been doing pretty great. 43 kills, guys, or 43 eliminations, should I say. There we go, another one. This AK-47 packs quite a bit of a punch. And I don't feel at a disadvantage by playing like this. Obviously, again, if you really want to be competitive, you go for low settings. But this is completely fine in my book, especially with Nvidia Reflex at the same time. Alright. No, come on, come on, go! Gosh. Alright, this is bad. Come on. I'm still good, I'm still good. Let's go. There's another one. Yep, right there. Behind the vehicle. Come on. Yes, nice, good. I mean, at this point, I don't have anything else to show at 1440p here. But the performance, the game is going so well for us that I just want to keep playing it right now. Until the end. It's almost finished, though. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Semtex. I hate Semtexes, dude. All right. This is nice. Honestly, I usually say don't go with performance DLSS at 1440p. At 4K, it looks good. 1440, not much, but I wouldn't mind it here. Alrighty, here we go, guys. Okay. we are now at the 1080p resolution. I restarted the game to fully apply the settings. The DLSS set to performance still. I thought it was looking a little bit crappy, honestly. So let's set it to native first, okay? And with NIS as well, not the LEA. Normal textures are being utilized, and the lowest settings, or minimum settings preset, should I say. Well, let's start counting our FPS. It's getting 130s, 140s. So at native 1080p, you can expect a high refresh rate experience. Of course, to be expected, kind of. Especially after what we saw at Ultra. Alright, good stuff. Let's go this way. Let's try that little thing over there. Alright. Also, to achieve these high FPS, you'll also need quite a beefy CPU. I noticed that this game is a bit CPU bound in some scenarios whenever the FPS are too high, and the 7800X 3D is good for around like 250 frames per second on average, with a GPU that can also handle that on low settings. On extreme settings, it's good for about like 200 in this map as well. So you'll need something like a Ryzen 5 5600X 3D, I would say, or a 5700X 3D. Something 3D will also achieve these FPS that we're seeing at the moment. That was a fast one. But yeah, if you're stuck with something like a Ryzen 5 3rd gen CPU and the 3060, or even like a 5600 or 5600X, you might see a little bit of a CPU bottleneck, especially on the 3rd gen. And if you upgrade your CPU to a 3D chip, it will work just fine. Alright, let's do this again. Start counting our FPS. It's the same map as well. Low settings, native 1080p. Great for a 144 Hz 1080p monitor. That was a nice kill. I liked it. The wall bang is real. Oh boy, sniper guy. I got him. Got him wall banging, or trying to. Okay, we're fine. Ooh, double. Let's go. Yes, sir. There is another one, I think. Maybe. Yeah, maybe it was that one. I think I perforated one of their bodies and shot one of those guys. I kind of wanted to leave the hard point, but nobody from my team is playing the objective, so I need to stay here. Otherwise, we won't gain any points. Right? Oh, come on, dude. I want to see the FPS in the other areas, so I don't care, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna go here as well. Shoot the water, which is... Wait, let me kill that guy. Very intensive, shooting the water, as you can see. It's the most intensive thing that you can do in this game, okay? And it drops us into the 90s, apparently. Not bad. I'm just gonna lay on the bed like this, because apparently they won't see me if I am laying on the bed like this. That's a reference to a Jack Frags video that I saw. And now I'm gonna go ahead and try it with the DLSS. God, they got me. And no, I'm not going to try it with DLSS performance. Let's try it with DLSS quality. Maybe it can reach slightly higher frames, like 15 higher FPS, with similar visuals, a little bit softer, but you can definitely still spot people very well like this with DLSS. And yeah, for a competitive person, those 15 FPS might make a difference, or 10 FPS. I don't know if they do. Honestly, to me, it wouldn't make a difference, and I would choose the native resolution because it looks better and it's still high refresh. Obviously, you're not gonna achieve a 240 FPS experience with this GPU if that's your jam, but I guess nobody's expecting that coming from a 3060 anyways. Maybe seeing the graphics, you'd think that it would get 240 FPS now that I think of it, because they're nothing special really, but again, it's a recent Call of Duty title. It's somewhat intensive, and I'm happy that the 3060 can still provide decent FPS, even on ultra quality graphics and native 1080p resolution. It's not the norm usually in today's titles, especially UE5 titles, right? So I'm glad to see this, guys. It's great. And I am having a bit of fun, honestly, playing this game. I just wish the movement wasn't as fast or as all over the place with the omni movement, you know. It's kind of weird. Nope, okay. No! Ran into that Semtex. God damn it. Okay, let's go with the UAV as well. I should probably try it at 1440 now. There we go. Now we can try it at 1440. 2560 by 1440 using NIS native again. So it's native 1440p resolution. It looks crisp and sharp and nice to me. It's getting still very high FPS for 1440p. Damn, that's good. Okay. I mean, it might actually drop into the lower 100s. It is dropping already into the lower 100s, but it is not a bad experience. And this is also another server because my capture card crashed. So the previous gameplay, I have already tested this at 1440p, but yeah, it didn't record anything. Capture card problems, basically. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright, we're doing this. I like this weapon. Damn, look at that. What the heck? Come on! Oh my gosh, that was so close. I killed 4 of them, though. That was sick. Anyway, 1440 is performing absolutely flawlessly, even at native resolution. It's not super high refresh. It still drops down a little bit into the 70s and 80s sometimes, near water mostly. Shooting at water, it drops them even further and it dips down into the 50s. In worst case scenario, but you're not really going to do that, right? Please don't, okay? If you care about stability and winning games in this game, you don't want to shoot at water, especially at the water in front of you. You know what? Maybe I would pick this over the DLSS stuff, even DLSS performance, which was 60 plus FPS all of the time in ultra settings. I mean, it did look better in terms of the effects and lighting and shadow detail and so on. You know what? I'm kind of glad that I am joining another server here for this last clip at 1440p, because the previous time it didn't go that well. Anyway, it was prettier before, but it was also a lot softer, and I think I would prefer that crispy and smooth gameplay, okay? Smooth gameplay at 1440p native. It's fantastic, guys. Wait a second. Let me stay here, all right? And you're seeing the FPS now. 107, around that, with NIS. And I wanted to show you the DLAA FPS as well. So if you want to choose DLAA, you can expect around 30 less FPS. It is insane how DLAA drops your frames, as you can see, right? Absolutely crazy. So do not use DLAA. Let's do quality DLSS now. 116 FPS coming from 107. So I think I would stick with NIS actually, because that native resolution, I think it's worth a trade-off of 10 FPS roughly. So I'm just gonna go with performance, okay? Because it looked great at ultra settings, and it will look less cluttered here at the low settings. And as you can see, if you have a 1440p monitor, performance DLSS will give you very high FPS. High refresh rate FPS, guys. You can max out a 144 Hz monitor sometimes with these settings, while looking, yeah, a little bit blurry, but it's nothing compared to other titles, once again, with performance DLSS especially. There are games that look worse with quality DLSS and 1440p res, or softer at least, than this one does on performance DLSS. It is a pretty good implementation, and I wasn't expecting it. It could also be because the game is kind of simple in its art style, and I mean, there aren't as many details as in other titles, but it works. It makes DLSS work a little bit better. It's kind of like in Fortnite. Fortnite has that art style, simplistic, you know, not a ton of detail and texture qualities and stuff. So it works very, very well with DLSS. It's one of the best games with DLSS, in my opinion. But yeah, that's to say that if I was a competitive player playing at 1440p resolution with a 3060, I would probably play like this before I upgrade it to something else. Alright, no problems. Again, on a 27-inch 1440p monitor, this will shine even better. It will be an even better experience. And that's been it, I think. Oh, hello there. What the heck? Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, we got this. We got this. Killing a bunch of them now. Let's go. Oh my gosh, dude. We're doing this. This is so good. This high refresh rate is so good. But I was also doing great with like 100 FPS. It's fine for me. I'm not too competitive of a player, you know. No, 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 no. Oh, defeat. I'm just gonna kill myself. No. Do I actually die? No, you don't die when the round is over. Look at that. Beautiful. Best play is mine. Let's watch it. Look at that. 1. What? Almost 2, 3. It was that play with the machine gun from somebody else. Look at that. That was awesome. I felt amazing there. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Love you all. Bye-bye.